Fairfield Media Productions is proud to present FCA on LSN and FMP Sports on fairfieldmedia.tv.
FCA on LSN, brought to you in part by
Service Master claimed by Todd George. They are proud to be the only Green Seal certified janitorial service in Central Ohio and promise to do the job right or do it over. 740-687-1077.
Thompson Concrete, a full-service concrete company. Online at thompsonconcrete.com.
Fairfield Mini Storage is located on East Main Street in Lancaster, or find them online at ffministorage.com.
Discover your promise in academics, in athletics, or in theater at Ohio University Lancaster and Pickerington. Online at lancaster.ohiou.edu.
Let Matt Gray motivate you or your group for change. You can visit him online at maxspeaking.com.
InFocus Consulting, the data agency. Online at infocusconsulting.com.
Fairfield Christian Church, located near the River Valley Mall in Lancaster. Online at fairfieldcc.com.
The Frank E. Smith Funeral Home. Respect for tradition, regard for change. Available online at funeralhome.com.
Roger Weaver and the Weaver Law Offices. Online at weaver-law.com.
Redeemer Lutheran Church and Dr. Jack Davidson. You can visit them online at redeemerlancaster.org.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Dean Alexander here. This is Take It to the Field, and I'm here with Coach Dave Dovenmeyer. Coach, tell us how last week's game went.
Well, Dane, we lost last week. You know, sometimes I don't even look at the scoreboard when we walk off the field, but I believe it was 42-14. We got beat by what has been a historically pretty good Ashland Crestview football team. They were 11-0 last year, made the playoffs, Division 5. They're larger than we are. And, you know, it's one of those games when you look at your schedule, most coaches figure, well, we can win this one, we can win this one. That'll be a battle. And we thought that Ashland Crestview was going to be a real battle for us. And they were a young team, as were we, but we made a lot of mistakes early, Dane. And we went through about a 7-minute stretch in the second quarter. I call it 7 minutes from hell. Just like everything that could go wrong went wrong. They scored 21 points in 7 minutes and took a lot of starch out of us. But I was pleased because our kids played hard. They continued to play hard throughout the whole game, and we tell them at every game's about you know, getting over a hurdle. And tried to get over that hurdle, weren't able to get over it, but we put it behind us, learned from it, and try to get ready for tonight's game against Williamsburg.
All right, and tonight's game against Williamsburg, it's a 2-hour drive. How's that going to affect the
2.5-hour drive. Well, you know, we always call it the Fairfield Christian Road Show anyway. You know, we go down to Portsmouth, we go down to Franklin, Furnace Green. You have a football team, we'll travel. That's kind of the way that we are. And because we're independent, we've had to make our own schedule. And this is our first opportunity to play Williamsburg, who is also a Division 5 football team. They're a little bigger than us. We have about 30 guys on our team. They have about 58 guys. So I told our guys the other night, thank goodness you can only play 11 at a time. So a lot of times you might like to complain because you don't have as many guys. But we got, although our numbers aren't as high, we have some very fierce football players. We had a great week of practice, probably the best week we've had all year, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so we know our guys are prepared to go out and play hard against Williamsburg. 2.5-hour drive, it's something you have to deal with. But you know this, Dane, it's an excuse. I mean, it's an excuse. We know Ashland Crestview drove about 2 hours last week and came down there and beat us, so we're going to have to go 2.5 hours and try to put a whooping on the Wildcats down there in Williamsburg.
Now, to get the win tonight, what do you think we need to change from last week's game to this week's game?
Well, believe it or not, Fisher Catholic, we were really kind of beat up from that football game. Not making an excuse, just happens to be the reality. We didn't have Jake Walker, our wide receiver, wasn't able to play. We had to depend a lot on a freshman, Josh Heater, last week, probably in asking him to maybe to do some things as a freshman. he really wasn't prepared to do. We made some changes in our offense that we moved our fullback, Taylor Kopp, from fullback to tight end. He caught some balls last week. So we know that Tobin, the running game, the guys up front, we know that they're going to play solidly for us. We have to develop a little bit better passing game. We're hoping Jake and Lane Tillman and Colin Young and, of course, Josh Heater be a little bit more effective for us in the passing game. We think if we can mix the pass and run, that we have we'll be primed in a pretty good position to be able to win the game.
All right, up next is the FCA game.
Go Knights!
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They are proud to be the only Green Seal certified janitorial service in Central Ohio and promise to do the job right or do it over. 740-687-1077.
We're gonna have a real good time. We're gonna have a real good time. We're gonna have a real good
It's always wildfire season somewhere in America. Nearly 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by the carelessness of humans and could be prevented. But together, we can make a difference.
Watch what I can do!
Help protect the home of our forest friends.
Come on! You can do it!
Only you can prevent wildfires.
To find out more, log on to SmokeyBear.com.
We're on. From Williamsburg High School, just northeast of Cincinnati, Ohio. Hi again, everybody. Jack Davison along with my partner this tonight's game, Andrew Gerken, freshman at FCA. Tonight it's the Williamsburg Wildcats against the FCA Knights. Andrew, welcome to the broadcast. You excited to do some high school football this year?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting football game. You know, 2.5 hours out here to Williamsburg after a home game at New Lex against Crestview, and looking forward to seeing the FCA Knights do a little bit more work on the field here.
What do you expect for FCA tonight?
I expect the run game to be very strong. You know, you got junior or senior Ben Tobin in there. Very powerful running back. He knows where to go, and he can definitely put some power behind his hits. And they give the ball to him, and they work on their passing game, and this should be a pretty good game.
Okay, FCA's 2-1 on the season. They lost last week to a tough team, didn't they?
Yes. Crestview went 11-0 last season, so I don't know what they were expecting. I had never heard of this team. It was
from Northeast Ohio, and they usually have good football teams.
Yes, I heard that too, and it was interesting to see how the game played out. They had a really good FCA had a really good scoring drive there at the beginning of the third quarter. They pushed the ball really well. They moved it, and I guess Crestview just got the better of them a little bit.
Now, of course, FCA won their first 2 ball games this year against Millersport and against Fisher Catholic. Lost last week, so they're looking to rebound.
I hope so.
We hope so. So let's go down to the field and take in the pregame festivities here.
Not answer when I call.
Colin Young is the quarterback for FCA.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is 6th grade middle school band night, and we'll feature the 6th grade band.
And here is the middle school band for Williamsburg, and we'll pause for pregame and the national anthem.
Trombone and percussion. Tonight, they combined bands will kick off the Williamsburg fight song. Please stand and clap with your hands together.
Tonight's FCA on LSN Game of the Week brought to you by Service Master Clean by Todd George. To help you get clean and stay that way at work, at home, when they demonstrate their commitment to excellence and a promise to do the job right or do it over. Service Master Clean by Todd George can be contacted at 740-687-1077. We thank Todd George for supporting Fairfield Media Productions Sports. Also, starting lineups tonight brought to you by Weaver Law Offices, dedicated to serving all of Central Ohio with competent, qualified, timely legal assistance at reasonable rates. Roger Weaver is a name you know, experience you can trust. The Weaver Law Offices can be contacted at 614-834-1750 or online at weaver-law.com. We thank our good friend Roger Weaver for supporting Fairfield Media Production Sports. You know, Andrew, coming into tonight's football game, Colin Young is the quarterback for FCA. He's passed for 281 yards, has a completion percentage of 44%. Pretty good for a first-year quarterback.
And I think that's what they wanted him to do. They moved him from the tight end position over to the quarterback, and they have him throwing some passes. They've been working on their passing game with freshman Josh Heater and Lane Toman and Tyler Kopp. They had him at tight end last game. And I think that's what they've been working on and what they're trying to do. Pass the ball.
Now rushing, they're led certainly by
Big Ben
Gentle
Tobin.
Ben Tobin, right? I don't know if call him Gentle Ben or Big Ben. He's got such a good heart. But you know, Ben Tobin's been averaging 8 yards a carry. That's a pretty good average.
And that should be expected. He's a big guy. I mean, you see running backs in the past get 10, 12 yards, but for him, a power running back, he can get in there, make a play very, very well.
We'll pause for our national anthem. Jack Davidson along with Andrew Gerken tonight in Williamsburg, Ohio, just northeast of Cincinnati. Probably been closer to go to Cincinnati and quicker too, huh?
Probably.
I think it's about 2.5 hours down here. It's always fun doing these road trips because, especially for you media guys, because you get to see a different setup and you have to kind of adapt on the fly, don't you?
Definitely. You were looking at when we showed up today, and we probably had 3 different setup positions, and we didn't know which one we were going to take.
Our broadcast position tonight, we have cameras to the right and to the left of us and on the field, so you'll be covered camera-wise. We're right to the left of the press box. This is kind of like sitting in the bleachers at Wrigley Field. We are among the people tonight. It'll be pretty neat. Pretty neat. Tonight's officials from Dayton, Ohio. Jess Bowman is the referee in his 42nd year. Larry Golden, the umpire. Then we also have George Moses, Greg White, and Brian Urquhart. All from the Dayton area. And they're pleased that we're going to be telecasting the game tonight. They may go onto YouTube or go to Fairfield Media Productions, the website, to download it, which you can too after the game, and after a telecast, and you can watch FCA Sports whenever you'd like. Talk a little bit about Williamsburg, coached by Scott Lefker. They're 1-2 on the season. First game they played Summit County Day School, and they won by a score of 42-15. Lost to Paint Valley 2 weeks ago by a score of 52-13. Lost to Fayetteville Perry last week by a score of 28-0. I think Fayetteville Perry down in this region. I think we're coming back in 2 or 3 weeks, aren't we?
Wouldn't surprise me.
I think so. Last year we went down to Portsmouth. For 2 or 3 games. This year it's Cincinnati. Next year we're going to stay closer to home as FCA goes into the Mid-State League along with Grove City Christian. They'll be in the division with Byrne Union and Miller Sports, so it'll be a little less travel, but fun nevertheless. See the Wildcats on the field. They'll be going right to left on your television screen. Home blue jerseys with the blue helmets, the white pants, and FCA in their road white unis with the red numerals, trim, and red pants. Looks like they're going through their own cals like Ohio State does with Urban Meyer down there on the left.
And here they come.
Quick cals. Sounds like they're playing ballerina music as they came out of the field. So, FCA will be kicking off. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the FCA defense?
They're led by Joey Gall, and he is a very, very active linebacker. You see him making plays all over the field, in the holes and out on the sidelines. It's something to watch. He's a defensive leader for sure, and I expect to see a very productive defensive game from him and the rest of the Knights defense.
So the referee's about ready to put the ball in play. FCA will kick off, going left to right.
And the kicker, Junior Collins, they actually got him to come over from soccer to football, and he's been very, very active in kicking.
5'8" junior. Now for Williamsburg, back deep, number 11, Dakota Lefker. And check that's number 41, Shane Jeffers, and number 15, Austin Park.
I'm going to get the kickoff. Just trust me. I'm going to zoom out as soon as he walks back. Yeah, because I'm going to zoom out once he starts.
Kind of hard to see down in the far side here. We're almost at, we're below press box level.
We're just about at the 43-yard line.
You are. I'm about at the 37.
Maybe I'm.
This will be fun. FCA football on LSN. Glad to have you with us. Shane Jeffers to the top of the screen. Bottom of the screen receiving the ball will be Blaze Vise. Vise has it.
Hands it off for about the 20.
And brought down.
Sorry, the 10. And they'll bring him
on the tackle.
They'll bring him down about the 19 or 20.
So the FCA defense will take the field. Ball on the 21, 1st and 10 for the Wildcats.
Catch ahead, 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line.
I think it's very nice that they're integrating some freshmen into the defensive and offensive line, teams. You know, you've got freshman Josh Eder over there on the left sideline playing cornerback, and you'll also see him on the offensive side of the field playing wide receiver, which is
give us to Mason Hall. Stopped by the interior line for FCA. Gain of a couple, be 2nd and 8.
Second down for the Wildcats.
Lane Edmonston is the quarterback.
Looks like they'll hand it off again.
Colin Young on the tackle. Mason Hall was the ball carrier. 3rd down, pick up a 5, 3rd and 3. Coach Lefker says they run the pro offense, a little bit of a spread. They'll keep it on the ground for most of the night. Young team, they lost a number of seniors. Pitch to Hall around the end. And looks like he has enough for the first down.
And it looks like they're just going to be chipping away at the Knights defense to try and get up to the other end of the field.
First down for the Wildcats. Move the chains. 1st and 10. Ball on the 33. A little sprinkle here at the stadium.
Yeah.
2 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen.
And they'll give it again.
Hall has it. Hit immediately.
No gain. 2nd and 10. Ball is
like Joey Gall on the tackle.
Wouldn't surprise me. He can get into any play from any position.
Of course, Joey is a 4-year starter, number 40 on the field.
2nd and 12, ball on the 31.
2 wide receivers at the bottom of the screen, 2 to the top.
Spreading out the Knights D. Caught up in the backfield by Lane. Looks like Lane Toman and number 32 for the Knights.
Caleb Waltz.
Walls.
Waltz.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get those.
3rd and 15.
9:45 to go here in the first quarter.
Number 41 out to the bottom of your screen.
Edmondson, quarterback, rolls right, throws left flat.
Number 45 got the reception. He's
Jordan Wright breaks the tackle. He's brought down.
Jeremiah Lee on the tackle.
And that'll bring out the punting unit for the Wildcats, and the Knights will send back Colin Young and Josh Heater. Young will be at the top of your screen. He's standing at about the 35. Heater now joins him at about the 35, 34-yard line. Dakota Lefker looks to be the kicker. Low snap, gets it off. Nice spiral. Drives Colin Young back, takes it about the 23. It's for a seam, and he'll
be brought
going
down.
about the 29.
Yep. 35 on the tackle.
Blake Vise on the tackle, and Colin Young will lead the troops out. Mark the ball on the 29, right hash mark.
1st and 10.
Walker to the top of the screen, split out right, Heater down at the bottom.
And it looks like they've got Taylor Kopp out at the tight end position again.
Gall the up back, and Ben Tobin the deep back. Colin Young throwing downfield, wide open, caught by Jacob Walker. First down, Knights. Colin's got a gun, doesn't he?
Definitely.
He's got a good arm. Plays third base for the high school baseball team. Also is a pitcher.
And he can put it right where you want it.
1st and 10 for the Knights on the Wildcat 36. Came out with a little bit of a surprise. I think Wildcats thought that they'd give it to Ben Tobin. There's Ben off the left end.
Nice.
Cuts up, still going. Down the sideline. And he is driven out of bounds. Another first down. 2 plays, 2 big gains for the Knights.
If you let them, the run game will kill you.
1st and goal on the 4.
4 yards to go. 2 plays and they're already in the red zone.
Young over center. Backs in the eye with Tobin the deep back. Gives to Ben up the middle, keeps driving and gained a couple. 2nd down.
in on the stop, along with Jordan Wright.
7:28 to go, first quarter. Second and goal on the one.
Second and goal for the Knights.
Josh Heater and Jacob Walker out to the top of your screen.
Tobin, the deep back. Give to Ben up the middle, keeps his feet moving, and
He'll
touchdown,
score.
Knights.
Put 7 points up on the board, 6 points up on the board, the first drive.
Takes the air out of the people down here in Williamsburg a little bit.
And that'll happen.
Good crowd here tonight. Got down here about 6:30, and half the stands were filled. People were barbecuing, tailgating.
As they would for any football game.
Junior Collins will attempt the point after with Colin Young on the hold. Snap down, kick is up, and it's blocked.
Kick is blocked, wow.
So 7:07 to go, first quarter. Knights take a 6-0 lead here on FCA football on LSN.
And the first quarter action of FCA on LSN is brought to you by Thompson Concrete, a full-service company offering commercial, residential, decorative, excavation, and foundation services with the ability to handle every detail of large, complex concrete projects. Thompson Concrete is located in Carroll, Ohio. It can be reached at 740-756-7256 or online at thompsonconcrete.com.
7:07 to go here, first quarter. Knights take an early 6-0 lead.
Number 41 and 35 back to return.
That'll be
Blake Vise and
Shane Jeffers. Vise is a 5'7" sophomore. Jeffers a 5'10" senior. Coach Lefker said he has 2 starters injured. He lost 14 seniors last year, so it's a really young team. Kickoff goes down to Vise.
He gives it off again, about the 10.
Got a seam down the sideline. Here he goes.
And he will. And he's
Jeffers.
And that's a good score.
No flags. Touchdown.
That was a very good return by Shane Jeffers. That definitely brought the crowd to their feet here in Williamsburg.
Hard for us to see how long that was with our angle. We're saying it'd probably be well over a 90-yard touchdown return.
And if they could put the extra point on the board, then that will give them the lead.
Rashai Pearson on for the point after. High snap, Pearson puts it up, and it's good. So that didn't take long, Andrew. 6:44 to go, first quarter of action. And the Knights down by a score of 7-6.
The FCA LSN Game of the Week is brought to you by Central Ohio General Surgeons. Physicians who have advanced training that allows them to perform invasive procedures for their patients. At Central Ohio General Surgeons, your appointment includes time for examination and discussion, so feel free to ask questions at any time. Central Ohio General Surgeons can be contacted at 740-654-6213 or online at centralohiogeneralsurgeons.com. And now the Wildcats will kick off to the Knights. Looks like they've got Lane Toman and Josh Heater back there to return. And I'm very confident that this Knights offense will be able to move the ball again. But it looks like the Wildcats are not going to let them go without a fight.
Pearson tees the ball up at the 40-yard line. Tolman will be at the top of the screen and Heater down at the bottom. Wildcats break their huddle. There's a short kickoff.
Down to Jeremiah Lee.
Lee picks it up. Oh
my goodness.
And the Wildcats get the ball.
And that brought the crowd to their feet again.
I'll take that back. That ball was recovered by the Knights. It's tough for us to see in our position here.
Knights will take over about the 21-yard line.
So they came out throwing the first series. We'll see what they do here.
Josh Heater and Jacob Walker are the receivers. Heater will be at the bottom of your screen and Walker at the top.
Young, back to pass. Long throw again, same play, caught by Walker. He's going to go all the way, no flags, touchdown Knights, and it's like arena football.
Back and forth, they're just nipping at each other.
That is a 79, unofficially 79-yard touchdown pass.
And unless I'm mistaken, that was the same exact play they threw the last time.
You are correct, my friend. That is the same play they opened the game with.
And my guess is they're going to keep doing that play until their Wildcats are going to be able to show them that they can stop it.
So, 14 seconds later, the Knights take a 12-7 lead, and they're going to go for 2 to try to gain that point back that they missed on the failed point after.
Colin under center, I formation.
Short pass, knocked down, and the point after fails. 6:30 to go here in the first quarter. Knights up 12-7. Catch your breath. It's going to be a track meet.
The FCA on LSN Game of the Week is brought to you by Ohio Christian University, committed to offering a complete education that develops students intellectually, professionally, and spiritually. OCU's degree programs equip students to become leaders in their careers, communities, families, and the world. Ohio Christian University, online at ohiochristian.edu.
Junior Collins will set the ball at the 40-yard line.
And my goodness, the two offenses have been working very well on the field.
It's like two heavyweight fighters. You give them one knockout punch and come back and throw another one. 12-7, FCA up by 5 with 6:30 to go first quarter.
Junior Collins has the ball teed up, and they'll get ready to kick it off. Numbers 41 and...
It's Jeffers and Vise back to return. End over end kick.
Vise on the...
Jeffers has it. Vise
has it. Sorry. Jeffers will keep it.
Down the sideline again. Knocked out of bounds. First down Wildcats.
Number 61, Tyler Hamill on the tackle.
6:20 now to go, first quarter. Some sprinkles in the air.
And the Wildcats will take over on the 35-yard line. First and 10 with 6:20 to go.
Game time temperature was, last I looked before we started, is about 62 degrees. Feels like the temperature's dropped a little bit since we started.
Once again, we are selling graphic tickets for the game ball, $6.
So the Wildcats huddle up. Lane Edmonston is the quarterback, 5'7" junior. Now he goes to the sidelines to get a play from his head coach. Hustles back out.
I don't know, have they thrown the ball yet? I think they've just run it the whole time.
They've run the ball exclusively. The Wildcats have thus far. And that's what Coach Lefker said. He said they're not going to put the ball too much in the air because they have experience in a lot of the skill positions. They just try to keep the ball on the ground. So, backs in the eye. Lefker under center. First and 10 on the 35. Keeper around left end.
Brought down by number 40, Joey Gall. Gain of 5 on the play.
Brian Miller had the first hit. Joey came in to clean up. 5:58 to go, first quarter.
Wildcats will bring it out, set up in the eye.
Hall is the deep back for the Wildcats. Edmonston gives to Hall up the gut, hit by Joey Gall and dropped.
Brian Miller finished that one off. And it looks like they're going to be the pair to watch out for.
3rd down now, and 5. Ball will be marked. I was going to say, we'll say it's at the 41. So 3rd and 4. Gave him about a half yard on the play. Backs in the eye. Hall is the deep back.
Defense is getting set.
And he's sacked. Edmondson is sacked by a blitzing linebacker. That is number 42, Lane Tolman. 5'10" junior.
You give him an opening and he will make you pay for it.
So 4th down, and that'll bring out the punter.
Josh Heater and Colin Young back to return. Number 41. Can never remember his name. Will be
Shane Jeffers is the punter.
Shane Jeffers. Good snap, good kick. Colin Young will receive.
Hits it at the 32. Gets
and he's
up to
not going to get far.
36.
Not going to get far.
Look, he was brought down by Ryan Healy on the stop. 1st and 10 for the Knights. Ball on their over the 35-yard line. Scoreboard has them at the 38. That's not right. We'll say it's the 36. 1st and 10 for the Knights. Well, they opened with 2 pass plays. Let's see what they do here.
They set up in the eye. Colin Young under center.
Walker at the top of the screen.
Looks like they're going to give it up. Ben Tobin.
Gentle Ben breaks a tackle across the 50. 1st down, Knights.
Number 21. That is Josh Gerlach on the tackle. Another 1st down. So they've had multiple big plays on their 1st downs here.
To be honest with you, Andrew, they've had multiple big plays all night, pretty much, right? Here's the backs in the eye. Colin Young back to pass, looking for Walker down the sideline, and it is incomplete.
I don't know if he just wasn't looking or...
I don't think he was looking, but it was he was open.
It was a good pass,
Fans were screaming to Jeffers to look up. The defensive back didn't know where the ball was. Be 2nd and 10 at the 49. It looks like the game plan is to pick on the cornerbacks.
And if that's what works for them, you know, you might as well do it.
Now we have a timeout on the field, and I think they're going to remark the football. Reset it, and now they're ready to go.
Josh Heater and Jacob Walker out as wide receivers. Colin Young under center.
Give it a goal.
And he's going to go nowhere. Stopped by the Wildcats.
That was Nick Fetz.
And Kurt Meisberger.
Coach Lefker said Fetz is the player to watch on defense. He's one of the leading tacklers for the Wildcats. Bring up 3rd and 12. This is the first 3rd and long the Knights have had tonight, with 3:20 to go 1st quarter. Offset eye, and Young in the shotgun. Blitz.
And
rolls out, and now
he's not going anywhere. They got
him by Tanner Soupy, 6'6" senior.
And it looks like the Wildcats defense got very, very pumped up this defensive drive for them. And that'll bring up 4th and 20. And the Knights are going to punt it.
Colin Young will be the punter. He'll stand at his own 32, gets it off, line drive punt. Sends Pearson back, gets it about the 20, goes right side. He's got a seam, flag on the play. And it might be a block in the back. Or a clip.
This is returning about the 36-yard line. Good defense by the Wildcats.
The the FCA on LSN Game of the Week is brought to you by Spires Paving Company, serving Lancaster and Fairfield County since 1984. They are a full-service pavement services company providing asphalt paving, patching and repairing, crack filling and stripping for residential, commercial, churches, and local municipalities. Spires Paving Company, 740-653-6837, or online at spirespaving.com. And
Edmondson breaks the huddle.
That penalty will bring him back a fair amount of yards.
Hall is the deep back in the eye.
They're going to fake it to the fullback and give it off to number 21.
Josh Gerlach was the ball carrier.
Good blocking by the interior line for the Wildcats. Gain of about.
They'll say gain of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Second and 2.
You'll mark the ball at the
25. 24.
25-yard line. That is correct, my friend.
2:06 to play in the first quarter. Set up in the eye again. Man in motion. They'll give it off to Gerlach again, and he'll gain it quite a few yards. That's enough for the first down. That'll move the chains. Gain of about 7 yards. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. 1:46 to play.
I love the Wildcat sound. Sounds like the Bearcat tape from University of Cincinnati. We're only about a half hour outside of Cincinnati tonight.
Wildcats will set up in the eye again.
Right is the up back. Hall, the deep back. Hall gets the pitch.
He's swamped by a good amount of Knights defense there. And it looks like one of the players lost their helmets.
And that would be Austin Dixon. The rule this year is when you lose your helmet, you come out for a play.
And that's a very, very good rule to have. Player safety. It's very essential.
And if Austin would have continued with the play, it would have been a 15-yard penalty. If your helmet comes off, you have to consider it a dead play. You cannot participate in the play. It's almost like everyone plays soccer, and that we have someone on the field injured. You have to sit down. Similar to that. Edmondson with the pass from the shotgun and overthrows his intended receiver. Josh Gerlach will bring up 2nd and make that 3rd and 10. 35.1 seconds to go. Coach Norm Emmets on the sideline exhorting the defense like he usually does. The man wears shorts no matter what the weather. Tonight's shorts weather. I've seen him. We played Newark Catholic in the playoffs 2 years ago. He's in shorts.
He could be knee deep in snow and he'd be wearing shorts.
He'll be in shorts, that's right. 35.1 seconds to go, 3rd and 10.
Wildcats set up in the shotgun.
Edmondson
Good
looks.
snap.
He's being flushed out of the pocket and he's dropped.
Brought down by
Ben Tobin. Got his hand on the ankles, and Tobin still running with 20 seconds to go now.
Tobin is very fast. He'll penetrate and move you out of there. Loss of about 1 yard.
Now Edmondson, the quarterback, is gingerly walking off the field, and that will be the end of the. I'll take that back. They're trying to call a timeout, and they finally do. So 3.7 seconds to go here, first quarter. They lost about 4 seconds on the clock as they were slow to stop the clock. So with 3.7 seconds to go, FCA leads 12-7. What do you think the first 11 minutes and 54 seconds?
They have been nipping back and forth at each other. They will push the ball, and then the Wildcats push the ball, and the Knights will push the ball. The Wildcats push the ball again, and it's going to be a back and forth game. And I think it's going to come down to the end.
Coach, I talked to Coach Dobmeyer before the game. He says just a matter of eliminating the mistakes and playing hard. The team was relatively healthy. They can eliminate mistakes and execute. They should be fine. course, as I think that's what every coach says, right? Eliminate the mistakes and execute.
They're going to try to quote Coach Dobbenmeyer from the pregame show, they're going to try to get over that hurdle and progress forward.
Okay, they've let the clock run out, so after 1 quarter of play here on LSN, FCA leads 12-7. This is FCA football on LSN. Read this. Coming out.
FCA on LSN. FCA on LSN. Brought to you in part by
Thompson Concrete, a full-service concrete company. Online at thompsonconcrete.com.
Service Master cleaned by Todd George. They are proud to be the only Green Seal certified janitorial service in Central Ohio and promise to do the job right or do it over. 740-687-1077.
Let Matt Gray motivate you or your group for change. You can visit him online at maxspeaking.com.
Roger Weaver and the Weaver Law offices online at weaver-law.com.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Gherkin, Young, and Heater back in dual safety to receive the punt. And the punt is Shane Jeffers. Jeffers, it's the ball at the 16, high wobbly kick. Young comes up on it, fields it short of the 40 and gets across the 40 at about the 43-yard line.
Second quarter action of FCA on LSN is brought to you in part by Fairfield Mini Storage, the place to store your personal or business goods in a clean, dry unit with a graded facility. They have outside storage for RVs and boats, and they are Lancaster's source for Penske truck rentals. Fairfield Mini Storage is located on 2230 East Main Street in Lancaster, or find them on the web at ffministorage.com.
Ben Tobin, the deep back, Joey Gall, the fullback. Colin Young waiting for the officials to allow them to put the ball in play. 1st and 10 on the 42. Gives to Ben Tobin, breaks a tackle, penalty flag. He's still moving and gets the ball across midfield, but we'll see what the penalty flag is all about. Be close to a first down, but they may bring it back. And it is a face mask on Williamsburg, so that will benefit the Knights. They will move the chains. It'll be a first down.
And penalties can be the deciding factor in any football game.
So the ball will be moved down to about the 32-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Knights, 11:44 to go, second quarter.
Looks like they'll come out in the I. Heater and Walker to the bottom of your screen.
Young with the pitch. Tobin goes right in, breaks a tackle, and gets up to about the 30-yard line. Mason Hall on the stop. Gain of about 2, we'll say 2nd and 8.
11:21 to play in the second quarter.
Young gets the call from the sidelines, joins the huddle. Now 2 wide receivers to the right. And we've got a timeout. Timeout, Williamsburg. Coach Lefker calls the timeout to orient his defensive troops. So with 11:04 to go here in the first half, FCA leads by a score of 12-7.
The FCA on LSN Game of the Week is brought to you by Spires Paving Company, serving Lancaster and Fairfield County since 1984. They are a full-service pavement and pavement services company providing asphalt paving, patching and repairing, crack and filling, and stripping for residential, commercial, churches, and local municipalities. Spires Paving can be contacted at 740-653-6837 or online at spirespaving.com.
So the Knights get their instruction from Coach Daubenmeyer, and they'll head out.
And the Wildcats
at the line of scrimmage.
And the Wildcats fans are on their feet, waiting for the defense to do.
2 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen.
Give to Ben Tobin coming out to the...
Got a seam up across the 20, keeps his feet going to about the 16. First down Knights, gain of about 14.
And Ben Tobin, you're going to be looking at him all night. They are going to run it until they can stop it. And
Ben's one of the leading rushers, not only in all of Fairfield County, but also in the central Ohio area. Has over 800 yards thus far, and close to 900 yards total yards this year with a couple big runs he's had tonight.
10:40 to play in the second quarter.
Gall and a quick hitter up the middle, gain a couple, bring up second down.
Colin Young's bringing back the play that they're going to run from Coach Daubenmeyer. Josh Heater and Jacob Walker out to the sidelines as wide receivers. Colin Young under center. And give to Ben Tobin up the middle.
Met by the interior line for Williamsburg, and I'll bring up third, and we'll say 3rd and 5. Gain of a couple. $9:50 to go here. First half of action. Ball is shy of the 10-yard line. Young over center. Rolls right, flushed out of the pocket, throws into the end zone. Touchdown, Knights!
That'll be Taylor Kopp.
10-yard touchdown pass.
And he's a big target for the Knights.
So Colin Young to Taylor Kopp with a 10-yard touchdown reception.
That'll make it 18-7 here in the second quarter. And hopefully they'll be able to put an extra point on the board here this time.
They'll go for 2. They have yet to be successful with the point afters tonight. Backs in the eye. Young, once again, throws end zone touch. That'll be a 2-point conversion to
Joey Gall.
Looks like Joey Gall. So Young to Gall.
That'll make it 20-7. 9:30 to play in the second quarter. Knights will bring it back to about the 35.
So with 9:31 to go here in the first half of play, the Knights take a 2-touchdown lead over the Wildcats here just north of Cincinnati.
And second quarter action of FCA on LSN is brought to you in part by Fairfield Mini Storage, the place to store your personal or business goods in a clean, dry unit with a graded facility. They have outside storage for RVs and boats, and they are Lancaster's source for Penske truck rentals. Fairfield Mini Storage is located at 2230 East Main Street in Lancaster, or find them on the web at ffministorage.com.
Junior Collins will tee it up, back deep. Shane Jeffers and Blake Vise. Ball teed up at the 40. 20-7 lead for the Knights. Collins approaches the ball, and a squib kick fielded by one of the up-backs for the Wildcats. That'll be Jared Spurlock, and he gets it up to about the 41-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Lane Edmondson leads them from the sidelines to the huddle. He was limping the end of the first quarter as he was brought down by
Ben Tobin.
We'll see how Lane reacts here in the second quarter. Backs in the eye. Hall is the deep back. Give this to Hall over the right end. He's up to the 45 to about the 50-yard line.
Ben Tobin and looks like Brian Miller get him about the 49, 50-yard line.
Just shy of the 50. They'll say second and short. He has to get across the 50 for a first down. It looks like it's second and about 2 feet. Edmondson over center. Gives to Hall, and he has the first down at about the 47-yard line. Gall there, along with Brian Miller and Tyler Hamill. First and 10. Mark the ball about the 47-yard line. Good bunch of fans came down from Lancaster and Fairfield County to see this game for the Knights. FCA travels well. A little bit end around to Gerlach. He goes off left tackle, gains a couple. Second and long. Call it second and 8. Mark the ball at the 40. At the 46-yard line.
And the Knights defense is doing everything that they can to stop this run game.
Hall and Wright in the backfield. Wright is the up back, number 45. Edmondson on a little crossing pattern and incomplete.
Quick
Pearson was the intended receiver. Bring up third and long with 7:42 to go here in the first half of play. Jack Davis along with Andrew Gerken and the entire, not the entire, but we've got a good media team down here, don't we?
Yes. And
you guys travel well, and you look so good.
That's our job.
What, to travel well, look good, or both? Both. 3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. Gerlach in motion a little bit. Edmondson gets the snap.
Looks like
hit as he throws, and a little dipsy doodle. That is, it was a completed pass, and with the flip to Hall, he was knocked out of bounds. Looked like he fumbled the football, recovered it, so it'll be fourth and looks like be about 6 to go. Now they back the marker back, and they'll mark it at the 43-yard line. So it'll be fourth and we'll say
5.
Oh, a little longer than 5. I'd say 7 or so, 6 or 7. The scoreboard said 8 and they moved it to 6. So your guess is as good as mine. We'll say 4th and 6 on the 43.
Wildcats punt out to the Knights.
Jeffers back as the punter. Short snap to Edmondson. He's going to go around end, looks for a seam. He can't find it, and the Knights stop him. Good play by the special teams. Joey Gall snuffing out that trick play. Wildcats trying to get something started. The Knights up to the task. They get the ball in great field position.
Knights will take over about the 43-yard line, 1st and 10.
Colin Young leads them out. Keeter will be down at the bottom of your screen. Up the top of your screen will be Jacob Walker. Let's see what Coach Daubenmeier tries to do. Couple opening plays in 2 series he threw to Walker on a crossing pattern, one for a touchdown. Let's see what goes on here. Play action, he's looking for Walker over the middle, overthrows him, incomplete. Edmondson on the coverage along with Pearson.
Walker was the intended receiver on that play.
2nd and 10.
Colin will head over to the huddle.
Knights have had some nice drives tonight.
The offenses look very good.
Heater and Walker down at the bottom of the screen. Tobin and Gall in the backfield. Tobin gets the pitch around left end. He's got some room.
Got
to
blockers.
The 50, 45, 44, first down. Nice.
Very solid run by Ben Tobin. And
Edmondson on the tackle.
I've seen very few not solid runs from him. He's a very well-rounded running back, power and speed.
Ben was the blocking back last year and thrust into the feature back role this year, and he's taken it by storm. Of course, Joey Gall played offensive line last year. Now he's being asked to be a blocking fullback. It shows you the athlete Joey is. Young throws out in the flat, nearly intercepted by Pearson.
Heater was the intended target on that play. Looks like the little quick pass right there didn't work out.
Looks like to me that he was just trying to get him out, hopefully in some space, let him do something, but like you said, Andrew, didn't work out. But 2nd and 10. Ball on the Wildcat 44.
Between the mix-ups of the passing and the running, they are definitely keeping this Wildcat defense guessing.
Wildcats play one safety, and that's Edmondson.
Tobin gets the pitch again.
Up to about the 40, so it'll gain about 4. It'll be 3rd and long. Mark it shy of the 40. We'll call it 3rd and 6. Halfway through the second quarter. Comfortable night here down Williamsburg, isn't it?
Very. The cool.
A lot of fans got their jackets on, but this is football weather.
Couldn't ask for better weather.
Walker top of the screen. Heater in the slot. Draw play, fumble. Ball loose, and Tobin picks it up, tries to advance the football, and he's going to be called down. Where his knee touched,
30.
Which looks to be about the 44-yard line. So it'll be 4th down for the Knights, and it looks like they bring the punting unit on. Colin Young, the quarterback, will be the punter, stand at his own 45. Edmondson now hustling back to receive the ball.
Very high punt.
End over end kick, hits at the 15 and down by the Knights.
And you see Colin playing a lot of positions, quarterback, punter, safety on defense.
Heater down the football, and it looks like they'll down it at the 5, so the Wildcats have a long way to go here with 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. 20-7, Knights lead by 13 points. Now Jeffers heads to the sidelines for the Wildcats.
It's like Hall in the backfield.
That's right, Mason Hall is the deep back. Gets it over right guard. He's got a seam to the 15, 20, breaks a tackle. Colin Young there, and will wrestle him out of bounds at about the 30. Nice run on first down for Mason Hall. They'll move the chains. First down for the Wildcats.
Broke a couple of weak tackles there and looked very, very...
Great hole there on the right side of the Wildcat line for a 56-year-old man. I might have been able to get through that one. That was so big.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah? I'm not that old.
I didn't mean that you're old. Wildcats in the I formation.
Two receivers to the bottom. Hall gets the ball, and
he's not going anywhere.
And brought down there by our good old friend Josh Coleman. Josh works on the media team. He does some basketball games for us as cameraman.
5'10" junior playing defensive tackle. Yeah. 4:25 to play here in the second quarter, sorry.
Ball just shy of the 30.
2nd and 10.
Jeffers not Jeffers, that's right, the up back. Hall the deep back. Gives to Gerlach. Penalty flag on the play. He'll gain a few, but we'll see what the
Ben Tobin on the stop
laundry
there.
is all about on the field. Looks like they're pointing in the Wildcat direction. And it might be an illegal block. We'll see. Side judge made the call. And it was a legal procedure. Back the Wildcats up 5, and it'll be second and 15. Mark the ball at the 25. Colin Young having an equipment issue now. He's able to fix it so he can stay in the game. 2 wide receivers to the right. Edmondson will be in the shotgun. Hall to his left. Edmondson rolling left, steps up, throws long. He's got Pearson, overthrows him. Brian Miller on the coverage. Brian's quite an athlete, is be able to get back in coverage to cover a wide receiver like that. Pearson's pretty quick. Brian kept up with him.
Brian is definitely one player that you're going to have to look out for in this game.
Center on the offensive side, linebacker on the defensive side, and here he's guarding a wide receiver on a fly pattern. 3rd down, 15 with 3:34 to go.
Looks like they're going to bring out 4 receivers again.
Shotgun for Edmondson. Looks right, fakes right, flushed out of the pocket, hit, rolling. He gets to the 35-yard line, and he's brought down by Joey Gall. Joey introduced himself to Mr. Edmondson, and it'll be 4th down.
And I'm sure they both enjoyed that greeting.
I think Joey enjoyed it just a little more than Lane did.
I suppose he kind of forced himself on Lane now.
I think you want to be the hitter rather than the hittee.
I would agree with you in that, but
Jeffers will be the punter. He'll stand on his 21.5-yard line.
Collin and Heater back to return.
Low snap and a end-over-end kick. Young lets it bounce. He might have touched it. He is going to let it die. He did not touch it.
So they'll
smartly got away from the football once it bounced away from him. So 2:34 to go. First half. Knights lead by 13.
It's like they'll mark that close to the 15.
Talk about the halftime show coming up.
The FCA on LSN halftime show is brought to you in part by the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home in Lancaster, Ohio, and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore, Ohio. Have a long and excellent history of serving our community in times of loss. The Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, respect for tradition, regard for change. Available online at funeralhome.com.
Knights will start at their own 18. Tobin the deep back. Young gives to Ben off right guard, and he'll get across the...
Even when you have a player like Ben Tobin, you
25.
Really don't have him until he is on the ground.
That's right. Keeps his legs moving, keeps his feet moving. He is a tough hombre to bring down.
And he's very good at keeping his balance.
2:13 to go. Same formation for the Knights. Tobin keeps the legs moving. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. 2 minutes to go. No, let's see. They're not going to move the down marker, so we'll say no gain. 3rd and 3 on the 25.
Walker and Heater out. Wide receivers. Set up in the eye. Ben Tobin, the tailback.
Young on the keeper. Keeps his leg moving. He might be close to a first down. 1:35 to go, and see if they move the change. Timeout. Perhaps for a measurement. No, it's first down. They're not going to measure. They're going to move the chains. The Knights with a little over 90 seconds to go. We'll put their 2-minute offense into play. Now we got an official timeout as One of the Wildcats have an equipment issue.
Kurt Meisberger.
He's ready. The Knights are ready. 80 seconds to go here.
Give to Jacob Walker.
He's got a seam to the 50, 45, cuts back and inside the 40 to about the 37-yard line. First down, Knights.
Lane Edmonston on the tackle.
1:11 to go.
I got to hurry up here.
Quick strike offense. Now we got a timeout. Officials timeout, and it'll be for the Knights. So the Knights take a timeout. They'll regroup with 1:11 to go. First half of play. Knights lead 20-7 here on LSN.
FCA on LSN is brought to you in part by N-Focus Consulting, the data agency, positioning and managing data in the marketplace. N-Focusing Consulting provides data management from Lancaster, Ohio, and can be reached at 740-654-5809 or online at N-Focusing. Okay.
Take a breath.
Yeah.
When that happens to me, just take a breath.
Online at nfocusconsulting.com.
FCA plays host to Dayton Christian next week at home at New Lex. And then on the 29th, it's homecoming against Miller. Then we come back down this neck of the woods to take on Fayetteville Perry. We'll see all the games on LSN.
And the Williamsburg student section is enjoying this little break here.
Young over center, backs in the eye. 1:11 to go here, first half of play. Knights up by 13. Young, swing pass.
Got Taylor Kopp, but he did not gain any yards.
Might have lost a yard. They're going to move the down marker back. This will be 2nd and 11 with 55 seconds to go. Knights hurry up out of the huddle. Looks like Coach Delmar just trying to get kids in space so they can make plays. 2nd and 11. Ball on the 38. Young on the draw play. And Tobin up the middle. Keeps the legs moving over the 20-yard line. First down, timeout. Knights have 2 timeouts left, as does the Wildcats. Knights are going to hustle up to the line of scrimmage. So that timeout was to move the chains. Now they start the clock. Young settles the team down. Downs the football, and with 30.8 seconds to go, 2nd and 10 for the Knights on the 18. Thanks for joining us on LSN along with Andrew Gerken. This is Jack Davidson and the FCA media team on LSN. We'll be bringing you all the high school football games for FCA this fall, and then stay tuned. We got a nice schedule of sports for basketball, girls and boys. Just did a girls volleyball game the other night that you'll see on LSN, and we'll be doing a couple more. So stay tuned to LSN for FCA sports. Young over center. Give to Tobin, cuts back, and it'll get to maybe about the 15. 24.9 seconds to go, timeout Knights. So they have 1 timeout remaining.
And it looks like they're going to try to score before the end of this half.
25 seconds, 24.9 is a lifetime with Coach Daubenmeier. He's got so many trick plays up his sleeve that he would be able to score quickly, or he could use all the 24.9, run a few plays and score. We've seen it all from Coach Daubs the past few years. There you see the FCA team huddle around Coach Daubenmeier. Come to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 8 on the 16. Now Williamsburg breaks their huddle. Coach Lefker.
Colin Young is under center again with Ben Tobin in the back.
Peter will be down at the bottom of your screen. Walker up to the top. 3rd and 8. Young rolls right. Throws incomplete. Intended receiver was Tyler Kopp. So it'll be 4th down. Under 20 seconds to go. 19.7 seconds to go. And the Knights will instead of trying to kick a field goal, will try to gain the first down or a touchdown here.
Bring out three receivers.
Cop at the top of the screen. Heater and Walker down at the bottom. Young on the draw. Nothing doing to Ben Tobin. He'll get up to about the 15-yard line. Timeout with 11.9 seconds to go. And Williamsburg will get the ball. Turnover on downs. So, FCA will be stopped by the Wildcat defense. Stay tuned for the FCA halftime show.
The FCA on LSN halftime show is brought to you in part by the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home in Lancaster, Ohio, and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore, Ohio. They have a long and excellent history of serving our community in times of loss. The Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, respect for tradition, regard for change, available online at funeralhome.com.
All right, the Wildcats take a knee, and that will do it. After one half of play here on LSN, the Knights lead Williamsburg by a score of 20-7. Stay tuned for the halftime show and second half action. This is FCA football on LSN.
Oh my.
FCA on LSN. FCA on LSN. Brought to you in part by
Fairfield Mini Storage is located on East Main Street in Lancaster, or find them online at ffministorage.com.
In Focus Consulting, the data agency, online at infocusconsulting.com.
Redeemer Lutheran Church and Dr. Jack Davidson. You can visit them online at redeemerlancaster.org.
The Frank E. Smith Funeral Home. Respect for tradition, regard for change. Available online at funeralhome.com.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Uh-oh, Vince. They're really cracking down on safety belts these days.
What's up, officer?
I'm giving you a ticket for committing an 811.
Safety belt violation.
Compliments of Barney Fife.
We never wear safety belts. We're dummies.
Weisenheimers.
He gave us a ticket.
Man's got to do what he's got to do.
Hey, how's it going?
Sir, are you okay?
What? Oh, this? It's probably nothing. I'm sure it'll go away.
Go away? But, sir, that can't be good.
No, it's cool. Really.
Do you want a napkin or something?
Everything's fine. Thanks.
You wouldn't ignore this. So why ignore the signs of a stroke? At the first warning signs, call 911 immediately. Because time lost is brain lost.
Williamsburg High School, Williamsburg, Ohio. Jack Davidson, Andrew Gerken, and the entire FCA media team. Halftime score, FCA leads by a score of 20-7. Third quarter of action of FCA Sports on LSN, brought to you in part by
Ohio University, Lancaster, and Pickerington, where class sizes are small, so you'll get to know the facility and who cares about you and your success. Discover your promise in academics, athletics, or in theater at Ohio University, Lancaster, and Pickerington, or online at contact them online at lancaster.ohiou.edu.
This game started off with a bang, so to speak. 3 touchdowns scored within the period of 1 minute. At the 7:07 mark of the first quarter, Ben Tobin ran in for a 1-yard score. Point after failed. It was 6-0 FCA. On the ensuing kickoff, Shane Jeffers ran 90 yards for a touchdown. Point after was good on that kickoff return, so it was 6:44 to go in the first quarter. It was 7-6. FCA down by a point. The next drive, Colin Young hit Walker on a 79-yard touchdown pass coming off the kickoff return. And with 6:30 to go in the first quarter, it was 12-7. FCA up as that point after failed. In the second quarter, FCA was the only team to get on the board. Young to Comp, a 10-yard touchdown pass. Young to Gall for the point after, a 2-point conversion at 9:31 of the second quarter. And that's your halftime score. FCA leads by a score of 20-7. Andrew, you got some halftime stats. What'd you learn from Michael Byers, the erstwhile statistician for FCA?
Well, I learned that FCA has a total of 146 rush yards, Ben Tobin having 146, and Joey Gall and one other of the backs having a total of 2 and -2, bringing that to an even 146. Jacob Walker has 155 receiving, and Colin Young is 155 passing.
That's a good offensive output for FCA thus far.
300, 400 yards.
I think Coach Dahlmeyer have to be pleased. They had a couple of potential turnovers. I don't think there were any turnovers in that first quarter, but the football was loose on the turf for a couple times. I think Coach Dahlmeyer wants to clean that up. I think he's got to be pretty pleased with the first half of play.
As a coach, I would be, but I suppose every coach looks for room for improvement, and that's their job. So
now Williamsburg will kick off to start the third quarter of play. Pearson will do the honors. He'll tee the ball up at the 40-yard line. Rochelle Pearson is a 5'6" defensive back, running back, wide receiver. Sophomore does the kicking honors for the Wildcats, and back deep for FCA. We'll have to see who they put back there. Heater has been one of the safeties to return the kicks. Tyler Kopp as well. We'll see who Coach Dahlmeyer puts back there as they break the huddle. And Heater will be back along with Lane Tolman. So Tolman and Heater will stand at about their 10-yard line. Pearson tees the ball up. Paces off his distance. There's the whistle. And Pearson's ready. Split the huddle. And the third quarter is underway. Loose ball. Tolman will pick it up. The 15, cut back to the 20. Keeps moving across the 25 to about the 28, 29-yard line.
Both Lane Tillman and Josh Heater being the fast receivers that they are, they can move in quick and be gone before you have a chance to wrap them.
So FCA will have the ball. They'll mark it at their 28-yard line. 1st and 10 to start the third quarter. Heater comes down to the bottom of the screen. Walker's at the top. Tobin and Gall, the backs in the backfield. Ben Tobin keeps the legs moving. It'll gain about 6. It'll be second and short.
Sometimes you see kids like that, and they just look like they could carry a whole defensive team on their backs and keep going.
How many yards did you say Ben had rushing?
At the half, he had about 155.
155.
Very, very good amount of yards.
Absolutely. That puts him up to 161. Give to bat again. Across the 40. Breaks a tackle. Breaks another tackle to the 40, 35-yard line. Just keeps moving. About a 30-yard gain.
And that was a very, very direct display of his athleticism and his speed.
Well, if they mark that at the 35, he's up to 191 by my math. Not too shabby with 11 minutes to go, third quarter. You're almost ready to have a 200-yard rushing game.
And that doesn't surprise me.
Quarterback keeper, Colin Young, picks up a chunk of yards as they were keying on Ben Tobin. Second and short for the Knights.
And the amount of running that they're doing really doesn't surprise me. Coach Daub likes to keep it on the ground, but he will mix it up.
Yes,
but
he will.
But he definitely likes his running backs.
Second and 2 on the 27. I formation. Colin Young gives to Joey Gall, nothing to it. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. They'll say that he lost a couple. Looks like they mark it at about the, let's say, 3rd and 4. Looks like it'll be inside the 35, about the 30 or 29-yard line. Excuse me.
Walker and Heater out to the top and bottom of your screen. Colin under center.
Young, Tobin up the middle, has got first down and more. Hurdles the tackler, keeps going, close to the goal line, and he'll be short. Oh, first down for the Knights, first and goal. As they mark it at the 5, it's a 24-yard gain for Ben Tobin. Puts him at 215 yards for the night. So Ben is over the 200-yard mark, which would mean that he is over the 1,000-yard mark for the season, just in the 4th game of the season. Tobin up the middle, moving the line to scrimmage, and he'll get close to the goal line. See where they mark it? It's down the other end of the field, so it's difficult for us to see where it's marked. It looks like they're going to say no, a gain of 1, so second and goal at the 4. Kopp and Gall, the up backs. Tobin around the end, he can walk in. And it's a touchdown, Knights. 4-yard touchdown run for Ben Tobin.
His second of the night?
Yes, sir. So Ben Tobin with a 4-yard touchdown run at 8:37 to go here in the third quarter. And point after to follow.
I think they're going to go for 2 again.
I think so. 26-7 the score. Young on the keeper, rolls right, he's sacked, and the point after is no good. 8:37 to go, third quarter of action here in Williamsburg. FCA leads by a score 26-7.
And the FCA on LSN Game of the Week is brought to you by Spires Paving Company, serving Lancaster and Fairfield County since 1984. They are a full-service pavement and pavement services company, providing asphalt paving, patching and repairing, crack filling and stripping for residential, commercial, churches, and local municipalities. Spires Paving Company can be contacted at 740-653-6837 or online at spirespaving.com.
Junior Collins will tee the ball up at the 40. Back deep will be Shane Jeffers and Blake Weiss. Jeffers, senior wide receiver, will be at the top of your screen. Weiss will be the one at the bottom of the screen. Kick has gone to Weiss the past couple kickoffs, and he is given to Jeffers on an end around. We'll see what happens here. Here's the approach. Kick, squib kick, hits at the 30, goes out of bounds, and there'll be a flag on the play.
As we move into this third quarter and fourth quarter, the offense is going to be the key here for Williamsburg. They need to put some points on the board, see if they can match the offensive ability of the Knights.
Mark the ball at the 35. We're at Osborne Field here in Williamsburg, Ohio, named after former football coach Ken Osborne, who is retired. They named the field after him. They had a dedication here about a week and a half ago. They have been in the state playoffs 3 times in their history. 1st and 10. Fumble on the play. Knights get the ball. At least that's what the Knights think.
And the referees are showing that too.
Yeah, they do. Joey Gall was on the fumble recovery, I believe.
And now the air is still by the Wildcats fans over here.
8:31 to go here in the third quarter of play. 3-touchdown lead for the Knights. They've missed 3 extra point conversions. 1 on a kick, 2 on the 2-point conversion. Young's the quarterback. Heater down below at the bottom of your screen. Tobin gets the ball, breaks a tackle, keeps moving. Be close to the first down.
Number 32, Mason Hall on the tackle for the Wildcats.
Second and short, we'll say 2nd and 1. Gain of 9 for Tobin. Knights hustle out of the huddle. Play Dayton Christian at New Lex Field next Friday night. Tobin off left guard, met by the interior line of the Wildcats. He might be close to the first down. We'll see where they mark it. They'll say gain of about a half a yard.
So it's going to be 3rd and short for the Knights.
I don't even know if you give, Ben made forward progress, but it was 2nd and 1, now it's still 3rd and 1, so I don't know if you give him any yardage on that play or not. Keeper by Young, he's met at the line of scrimmage. He only had to go a foot or so. We'll see where they mark it. Looks like they're gonna move the chains, first down Knights. Clock stopped as they move the chains. 7:10 to go, third quarter of action. Timeout Williamsport with 7:04 to go, third quarter of play. FCA up by a score 26-7.
And the FCA on LSN Game of the Week is brought to you by Ohio Christian University, committed to offering a complete education that develops students intellectually, professionally, and spiritually. OCU's degree programs equip students to become leaders in their careers, communities, families, and the world. Ohio Christian University, online at ohiochristian.edu.
You do that so well.
Not so well in the first half, I mean, here and there.
Well, you get the first half jitters out, right?
I suppose so.
Absolutely. Beautiful night for football here. Williamsburg High School.
Not too cool, not too hot. Very good weather for football.
Absolutely. I tell you, it was so hot this summer that we're able to enjoy a nice, cool fall evening here. Game time temperature was about 63 degrees.
Knights will line up, Colin under center with Joey Gall and Ben Tobin in the back.
Fumble, loose ball, Young falls on it. Wildcats fight for it, and I think Colin Young retains possession. Loss of a couple. Partly cloudy skies here tonight at Williamsburg. Had a little bit of a drizzle to start the ball game, but other than that, it's been a delightful evening. Heater at the top of the screen. Walker down the bottom, Pitch to Tobin, cuts back. We got a penalty flag procedure on the Knights. 5 yards back. It'll be 2nd and 17 in the 30.
And it looks like this drive has given the Knights just a little bit of trouble here. They try to move the ball.
You're right. They got a good start, and then just having a little trouble here.
But I suppose every football team has their goods and bads.
Knights break the huddle. 6:25 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Walker and Heater out as receivers.
Brian Miller to snap to Colin Young. Stumbles out of the snap, and that pass is just off the fingertips of Tyler Kopp, I believe. Kopp and Heater were out there, both in the same vicinity. This will be 3rd down. 17. Mark the ball at the 30-yard line. Now we've got a timeout. Official timeout, and we'll let them sort this out. Now he's going to come over. Head referee's going to talk to Coach Daubenmeyer. It gives us a chance to tell you who helps us out here to bring you FCA football.
And FCA on LSN is brought to you in part by N-Focus Consulting, the data agency positioning and managing data in the marketplace. N-Focusing Consulting provides data management from Lancaster, Ohio, and can be reached at 740-654-5809 or online at nfocusconsulting.com.
From a distance, I don't have to give a report.
Now Coach Lefker comes out to talk to the referee. Hopefully, it looks like they got that straightened out. I don't know if anyone's satisfied, but they got it straightened out. 3rd and 17 on the 30.
Walker and Heater out wide again.
And Young's in the shotgun. Throws right side. It should be pass interference, but no. Incomplete. Intended receiver there was
Jacob Walker.
Walker's been Colin Young's favorite target tonight. 4th and long. So with the ball at the 30, I wonder if Coach Daubenmeyer will go for it. Looks like he will. Could be a quick kick too, because Colin Young's also the punter. Young in the shotgun. Back to pass, throws, long, down the sideline, incomplete to Walker. Bumped out of bounds, but
looks like Heater was running a little faster than Colin was throwing there.
All right, was that Heater down the far sideline?
I believe so.
Okay. My 56-year-old eyes deceive me. So 5:49 to go, 3rd quarter of play. Knights up 26-7.
And the Williamsburg offense will take over on the 30-yard line.
Lane Edmondson gets his instructions from Scott Lefker. Now he goes back to talk to Coach. They'll hustle back out. 5:49 to go, 3rd quarter play. Knights up by 3 scores. They huddle up. Hustle the line of scrimmage. Pitch to Hall around left end, being pursued by Miller, runs out of bounds.
And that's a good defensive play there by Brian Miller, not letting him get any forward progress on that one.
Just trying to get him out in space, and Miller with some good pursuit. Be 2nd and 10. They will say no gain on that play. Knocked out of bounds.
He'll bring up 2nd down.
Edmondson Leads the team out of the huddle. Looks like he'll set up under center. Hall the deep back. Pitch to Gerlach, and we got a penalty flag on the play, and Coach Lefker is beside himself. I think that's going to be on the Wildcats. They had that play set up, and possibly someone started before they should have.
False start on Williamsburg.
So that 5-yard penalty backs him up. 2nd and 16 on the 25-yard line.
And here comes Pearson changing out with Hall. Or, sorry, Jeffers, not Hall. Williamsburg will set up in the I.
Hall's the deep back. Penalty flag, and there might be too much time.
And that's the 2nd penalty here in this drive on Williamsburg.
Back him up 5 more yards. 2nd and 21 at the 20. The defense is in a good position here. 2nd and 21. Once again, Hall the deep back. Pitch to Hall. Moves out of the backfield. Met by the linebacking crew of the Knights.
Gain of a few yards, but didn't look like he got much.
Might have gained 4 or 5 yards on the play. Still be 3rd and long. They say 3rd and it's not 21.
19.
3rd and 19. The 26.
Very good job on by the Knights defense to capitalize on this.
Now they change it 3rd and 17. So 3rd and 17 on the 26.
Edmonston under center.
Option. Edmondson in the flat. Incomplete.
That pass was...
Knights snuffed that out, and that was Brian Miller.
Very good by good defensive.
The pursuit and the coverage. Miller. Excellent. Brian Miller snuffed that out, and now...
And that would have been a very good game by the Wildcats if Brian Miller hadn't been there.
Coach Lefker taking a page out of Coach Daubenmeyer's playbook. Wouldn't be surprised to see Coach Dobbs do a dipsy doodle, some type of trick play here.
Shane Jeffers is the punter. He'll kick over to Colin Young and Heater.
Low snap, high end over end kick. Young calls for the fair catch, and he receives it at the 44. Knights start at their own 44-yard line with 4:41 to go, 3rd quarter of play.
And the FCA on LSN Game of the Week is brought to you by Central Ohio General Surgeons. They are physicians who have advanced training that allows them to perform invasive procedures for their patients. At Central Ohio General Surgeons, your appointment includes the time for examination and discussion, so please feel free to ask questions at any time. Central Ohio General Surgeons can be contacted at 740-654-6213 or online at centralohiogeneralsurgeons.com.
Here we go at end around. Walker, and he's brought down for a loss.
And it looks like the Williamsburg defense is not too happy about that offensive drive there. Make sure they can get the ball back here soon.
They'll say a loss of 4, 2nd and 14 on the 41. And actually, we'll say 2nd and 13 because the ball was spotted at the 44. Backs in the eye. Heater down at the bottom of the screen. Draw to Tobin. 50, 45, 40.
And
first down Knights.
And my oh my, can that kid fly? he breaks away, and you've got very little chance to catch him.
23-yard gain for Ben Tobin. Approaching 250 yards rushing for Ben. Give to Tobin again around left end. He's got a seam. First down and more. First down Knights.
You could say that he is definitely the legs of this Knights offense.
Just put the ball in Ben's belly and let him run. 18-yard gain for Tobin.
Let's set up shop about the 19 here.
Tobin again around the end, and he's horse-collared out of bounds. Kept up by Mason Hall. So he got back to the line of scrimmage, I believe, so it'll be no gain, 2nd and 10. With 3 minutes to go. Clock is running, 3rd quarter. Knights knocking on the door for another score. Miller snaps to Young. Gives to Tobin up the middle. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage. Third and 10. So that's an anomaly. You won't see that much. You get the ball to Ben Tobin and 2 carries and no gain on the play.
Williamsburg defense is tightening down.
Young over center. Pass to Kopp. To the 10, spins, 5, touchdown Knights. 19-yard touchdown pass, Young to Tyler Kopp. It's his 2nd touchdown of the night.
That is it's a very big target for Colin Young.
Now Young to Kopp had a 19-yard touchdown pass there earlier in the game in the 2nd quarter. Had a 10-yard touchdown pass, so 1:58 to go, 3rd quarter. Junior Collins on for the point after. Young to hold. High snap, and the kick is good. So the point after is good, 1:58 to go, 3rd quarter. 33-7, Knights up over Williamsburg.
And the FCA on LSN Game of the Week is brought to you by Service Master Clean by Todd George. They'll help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home when they demonstrate their commitment to excellence and their promise to do the job right or do it over. Service Master Clean by Todd George can be contacted at 740-687-1077. Thank Todd George for supporting the Fairfield Media Production Sports.
Ben Tobin, by our count, has close to 270 yards rushing through 3 quarters of play here. He had over 150, right, Andrew? Over 150 in that first half, so he has gained over 100 yards just in this quarter of action to begin. This quarter of action tonight.
And that shouldn't surprise anybody at all. When you have a running back of that caliber who has that speed and that strength, I would expect him to get 100 yards in a quarter or close to that number.
Collins approaches the ball. There's the kick. Line drive. Jeffers will get it at the first hop, loses it, gets it back. Has a seam. 40, 50, cuts back. He may go. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
And there are no flags, so this play is not going to be brought back. Wonderful. That's a great run by Shane Jeffers.
That is Jeffers' 2nd kickoff return for a touchdown tonight.
Not just his 2nd touchdown, it's his 2nd kickoff return. And my goodness, that is something to say.
So, 7 seconds elapse on the clock, 1:43 to go, third quarter. And Pearson will be on to attempt the extra point. Edmondson to hold. Snap, ball's down, kick is up, and it's good. 1:43 to go, third quarter of play. Knights up by 19 on LSN.
And the third quarter action of FCA on LSN is brought to you in part by Ohio University, Lancaster, and Pickerington, where class sizes are small, so you'll get to know the faculty who cares about you and your success. Discover your promise in academics, in athletics, or in theater at Ohio University, Lancaster, and Pickerington. Contact them online at lancaster.ohio.edu.
You know what we're missing as a sponsor? A pizza place. I got a pizza coupon. Now, I'm not going to use it, but as I came in tonight, they gave me a pizza coupon for a Williamsburg pizza place. It's a great high school tradition that at the end of a football game, go out for pizza, right?
Definitely.
I can't eat a pizza in the car on the way back, so might be McDonald's or something else like that.
Some other thing that you could get on the way back.
So 33-14 the score, 1:43 to go. Third quarter of action. Knights up by 19. And looks like we're going to have a new kicker on for Williamsburg. This will be Jordan Wright, it looks like. And it looks like to be an onside kick. He's going to tee the ball up on the right hash. And looks like Coach Daubs expected it. He has most of the good hands people up within 10 yards of each other. 10 to 15 yards of each other. Here comes the approach. The kick. Ball's loose. Joey Gall falls on it. First down, Knights inside the 50-yard line. I'll probably mark it about the 48. Knights with great field position. And Jordan Wright, the kicker, just flings the kicking tee out of bounds. He must be an outfielder. He has a good arm. A little more mustard on that, he would hit the student section. First and 10 for the Knights on the 49. Tolman will be your wide receiver to the bottom of the screen. Kopp is tight at right end. Tobin with the handoff, and he's met at the line of scrimmage. Might have gained a yard.
It looked like that was Travis Knox on the tackle.
They're going to say it's a loss of 1. So 2nd and 11 at inside the 50-yard line, say the 49.
Lane and Heater out wide. Colin under center with Joey Gall and Ben Tobin in the back. Give
to Ben Tobin. He still spins. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and a couple more. It'll be 3rd and long.
He fights for those yards.
Yes, he does. Hard to bring down.
Looks like Tobin's walking a little gingerly there.
And a nice feature article on Ben in the Eagle Gazette a couple days ago. Eagle Gazette does just such a great job with high school sports. So Lane Tolman down at the bottom of the screen, Kopp tight at right end. Heater up top of the screen, backs in the eye with 22 seconds to go. Young rolls out, hit, and dropped for a loss.
And number 81, Ryan Boggs, was not going to let him go anywhere or give that ball to anybody.
So the Knights will punt the ball, but before they do that, they'll change to the other end of the field. 3 quarters in the books. Timeout on the field after 3 quarters of play. FCA up 33-14 over Williamsburg on LSN.
FCA on LSN. FCA on LSN. Brought to you in part by
Discover your promise in academics, in athletics, or in theater at Ohio University Lancaster and Pickerington. Online at lancaster.ohiou.edu.
Thompson Concrete, a full-service concrete company. Online at thompsonconcrete.com.
Roger Weaver and the Weaver Law offices online at weaver-law.com.
Fairfield Christian Church, located near the River Valley Mall in Lancaster, online at fairfieldcc.com.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Fourth quarter action of FCA on LSN is brought to you in part by Fairfield Mini Storage, the place to store your personal or business goods in a clean, dry unit within a graded facility. They have outside storage for RVs and boats, and they are Lancaster's top source for Penske truck rentals. Fairfield Mini Storage is located at 2230 East Main Street in Lancaster, or find them on the web at ffministorage.com.
Colin Young with the punt. Lane Tobin downs it, and Williamsburg will take the ball. 1st and 10. And it'll be about the 17-yard line. 11:56 to go here in the final quarter of play. Lane Edmondson leads the team out of the huddle. We got 3 wide receivers at the bottom of the screen. Edmondson will be in the shotgun. Mason Hall, the lone back. Gives to Hall. Sweeps right side. Knocked out of bounds. Good pursuit.
Very good defense
by Joey Gall. His helmet comes off, so Joey will be running off the field. Also Colin Young there on the tackle.
And that's very good defensive effort by both of them.
Gain of about 4, 2nd and 6. Ball at the 21-yard line. Two backs in the backfield. Edmondson now over center. Gerlach in motion. Rolling right. Flushed out of the pocket. Hit and still moving and dropped. Good pursuit by the Knights.
That was number 75, Matthew Beatty, on the tackle. Very, very, very good defensive effort. And now his brother, Michael Beatty, sustained a concussion in the last game, so he is not playing today.
Caleb Woltz was pursuing off the left linebacker spot to flush Edmondson out of the pocket. It'll be 3rd and long, 14-yard line, 3rd and 14. Edmondson will be in the shotgun. Hall the lone back, 2 receivers to the top and bottom of your screen. Back to pass, flushed out. Kopp has him, loses him, throws downfield. It is intercepted. No! Heater had it and dropped it.
And we got a Knight down in the backfield of the Williamsburg. Looks like that's Taylor Kopp.
It is. Kopp is down at the goal line. And so, Coach Daubmeyer and the medical staff, Dr. Scott Johnson, will run out and attend to Taylor.
And fourth quarter action of FCA on LSN is brought to you in part by Fairfield Mini Storage, the place to store your personal or business goods in a clean, dry unit within a graded facility. They have outside storage for RVs and boats, and they are Lancaster's source for Penske truck rentals. Fairfield Mini Storage is located at 2230 East Main Street in Lancaster, or find them on the web at ffministorage.com.
We got the media team here. We want to give them a thanks. They are the ones that make us sound good and look good. And the ones who made the road trip tonight are
And the FCA media team consists of Caleb Kandra, Justin Potochnik, Evan Bogus, Caleb Peters, Dane Alexander, Harrison Poole, Mark Davidson, Alex Carroll, Michael Collier, Director JT Burcham, and Scott West.
And of course, Andrew Gherkin on color. We thank all of them for participating. You know, I'm on Twitter with and my wife sends me a tweet on the way down, and she says her 3 men are doing sporting events. Of course, Mark, my son, is the cameraman, and my other son, Drew, got a start on the FCA media team, is now an intern at ESPN. Line drive kick, Young will let it drop and falls on it, shy of the 47-yard line. So 3 Davidsons are in media tonight. Drew out at Bristol at ESPN, Mark's to our right, and I asked how he liked this because he played football last year. He said, "Oh, it's not bad, just that he's in the student section for Williamsburg with the camera position, but it's not bad." I'm gonna try to have him join me on a telecast later on football season.
And of course, the 3rd Davidson right here.
Yeah, the 3rd Davidson.
You can't forget about yourself.
Oh yeah, the 3rd Davidson. 1st and 10 for the Knights on their 46-yard line. Tobin to the bottom of the screen. Tobin, the deep back. Keeper Young. Flag on the play.
Colin will get
about
around
the 46.
Colin will get around 7 or so.
We'll see what the flag's all about. Might be a legal block on the Knights. Chop block. Let's see. Yes, it is.
And those have hurt the Knights offense so much this season in the past couple of games. You see 3 or 4 of those, and man, you lose some major yards there.
So, 1st and long for the Knights. So, what do you do, Andrew? 1st and long.
Well,
you give it to Ben, or you pass it to Heater?
I think that all depends on your strategy here. And looking at the Williamsburg defense, they haven't expected a lot of passes right now.
And we have a flag on the play, and it'll be procedure on the Knights. Back them up 5 more yards.
However, on the other hand, you look at Ben Tobin. He's got some solid yards and is very quick. So if you can move the ball either way, you know, you got to do what you can.
Absolutely. So 1st and long now for the Knights. We got JT Burcham up here taking pictures. I don't know why. I'm going to take his picture too, you see, and that's what, here, he's taking my picture, I take his picture, we'll get him. We'll use that for posterity. It's probably for media photos or something like that, for the yearbook. Here's a pitch to Tobin. Up the middle, he's got a seam, and gets a big chunk back.
Solid yards right there.
Absolutely. So they started this, it was 1st and 25 on the 29. They're going to mark it 2nd down and 18. So give them a gain of about 11. Now we got a timeout, official timeout, as a Wildcat is having some equipment issues, tying the shoe. That 11-yard gain puts Ben Tobin at 280 yards unofficially tonight. And now we're ready. Young taking his time as the clock continues to wind down. The clock's the Knights' friend. Pitch to Tobin, and he is dropped for a loss.
That's number 81 again, and that's Ryan Boggs. That's his 2nd tackle for a loss here in the 2nd half. The Williamsburg defense is not letting them going to move down the field.
Say it's a loss of 5, so it'll be 3rd and 23 on the 31. Heater down at the bottom of the screen. Can't see who split out to the top of the screen. Young on the draw play to Tobin. He keeps his legs moving across the 40-yard line to about the 42.
And here I expect Coach Dobbelmeyer is going, well, no, sorry, I was looking at the wrong.
Fourth down will be probably a punt.
I was looking at the wrong pylon. I thought they were closer than they already were. But knowing Coach Dobb, he could go for it at any time.
The wise, judicious thing to do here is to punt the ball away. Colin Young.
Pearson back to return for Williamsburg.
Young stands at his 30-yard line. High snap. Kick to Pearson, off his kneecap, loose ball. Pearson gets it back.
And man, he ran for that ball.
First down, the Wildcats will mark it at the 41. That's about a 10 to 15-yard gain on that.
Bounced off his knee and came forward 10, 15 yards. And he sprinted after that ball. He was not going to let the Knights recover that one.
Fortuitous bounce goes the Wildcats' way. 7.5 to go in the ball game. Knights up 33-14.
And it looks like Pearson's doing something there with his hand. Not sure if he got a little shaken up there, but it doesn't look like it.
So the Wildcats break the huddle. 1st and 10 on their 42. Edmondson over center.
Got Hall out here.
Hall in motion. Quarterback draw. Edmondson to the 50, 45, 40 down the sidelines, first down.
That was Brian Miller who knocked him out, saved the Knights.
Putting Hall in motion there had the Knights keying on Hall, and just a little quarterback draw for a first down. Mark the ball at the 36, 1st and 10.
And the offense definitely still has some life in them. They are ready to score.
Misspoke earlier. I said Ben Tobin had 800 yards on the season. He had 635 coming into the game. The 270 or so he has now puts him at the 900-yard mark. Hall, the ball carrier, gain about 4. The Wildcats want to get back in this one. They're going to have to score and score quickly. Clock is the Knights' friend. Coming up on the 7-minute mark.
And if the Knights can contain that run game, they're taking away, a good major offensive part for the Williamsburg.
Tyler Kopp is up on the sidelines, running off his injury. We might see him back. 6:40 to go in the ball game. Edmondson fakes a draw, rolls left, pressured, flushed out of the pocket, keeps his legs moving. He's still alive. He's got a first down. Cuts back, middle of the field. First down, they'll move the chains. Good play by Lane Edmondson. Timeout as they do move the chains.
My, this kid's fast too.
Taylor Kopp comes in the ball game now for FCA. It's good to see him back.
Just glad his injury wasn't very severe.
Wildcats in the red zone, 1st and 10 on the 19. Edmondson back to pass, throws, end zone, touchdown, Wildcats.
That was Ryan Boggs on that reception there. Very good looking reception.
13-point lead for the Knights. So Williamsburg is back in this. They needed a score quickly, and they did. A 19-yard touchdown pass. Edmondson Did you say Boggs?
Yes, Ryan Boggs,
Ryan
number
Boggs.
81.
Point after to follow.
And Boggs
looks like they're going to be going for 2.
Why not?
13-point lead. This will cut it to
11.
11 if they make it. Give to Hall around right end. Has a seam. And he's in for the 2-point conversion. So just like that, it is a 33-22 Knights lead with 6:04 to go in the ball game.
The FCA on LSN Game of the Week is brought to you by Central Ohio General Surgeons. They are physicians who have advanced training that allows them to perform basic procedures for their patients. At Central Ohio General Surgeons, your appointment includes time for examination and discussion, so please feel free to ask questions at any time. Central Ohio General Surgeons can be contacted at 740-654-6213 or online at centralohiogeneralsurgeons.com.
Ben Tobin got the Knights on the scoreboard first with a 1-yard touchdown run with 7:07 to go in the first quarter. Shane Jeffers returned the ensuing kickoff 90 yards to make it a 7-6 Williamsburg lead. The Knights have pulled away, but the 2 recent touchdowns have cut it to an 11-point lead for the Knights over Williamsburg. Pearson on to kick off now.
And the Knights have had some trouble with their point afters today.
Yes, they have. If they would have, they've missed 3 PATs.
So they went for 2 twice. That could have made, and went for the point after once. So that could have made this a 38-22 ball game. But
now the coaching staff for Williamsburg is telling them to kick off long. We had a celebration penalty, a unsportsmanlike penalty at the conclusion of that point after, so 15 yards marks it back to the 25. Pearson will be kicking off from his 25. That's an unfortunate penalty for Williamsburg because they'd been in better position up at the 40 for an onside kick. Here comes the approach. Pearson, high kick. Peter has it. 30, 40, 43.
And in regards to the celebration penalty, I guess sometimes, you just forget you're on the field and that, you've got to act respectfully to both for the other team.
Well, you get excited. I mean, it happens. Right?
That's okay. Show some excitement. But
that sport, you want to show excitement. So, not saying it's a good penalty or a poor penalty. It was down in the far corner with all the student section. We couldn't see what happened, but that personal foul went against Williamsburg. So the Knights have it in great field position. 1st and 10 on their own 43. Under 6 minutes to go. 11-point lead. Tobin right up the gut. Gain of about 5. 2nd and 5. 5:45 to go. We'll mark it at the 48.
Lane Tillman and Josh Heater out wide. Joey Gall and Ben Tobin in the backfield with Colin Young under center. And it looks like Colin Young's just going to take his time.
He'll wait for a signal from the sideline probably and then snap the ball. Tobin up the middle. Might have gotten back on the line of scrimmage, maybe gained 1. They'll give him 1. It'll be 3rd and, they'll say 2. 3rd and 4 is what the scoreboard says at the 50.
And if you're Williamsburg's defense right now, you got to do what you did last drive and shut down Ben Tobin.
And they're keying on Tobin.
And they did very well last drive.
They have 8 in the box. And there's that might be an encroachment penalty on Williamsburg unless FCA jumped and induced the offside, and I think they did. Someone flinched. Referee's trying to sort it out. FCA is backing up, but now the officials want to sort it out. They're going to check and see if someone moved for the Knights. Colin Young doesn't like the call. Colin had his hands up in the air. Knights have to settle down.
And Colin Young's reaction could be either way, to the ref's call or to the false start, and whichever player had that.
Illegal procedure on the Knights, and a penalty on Williamsburg, so the penalty's offset. 4:37 to go in the ball game.
And the Williamsburg
you hear the Wildcat fans.
They do not like that call.
Their dismay and disgust at that call. Now Young wants to see if the clock starts, and the referee starts the clock. 4:35 to go. 3rd and 4 on the 50. Young will let the clock run to milk the time away. Referee signals 5 seconds, and there's a keeper by Young. We'll get close to the first down. What happens is that Colin looks at the back judge. The back judge holds up his hand, signaling 5 seconds, and then Colin will get under center and run the play. So 4:05 to go now. And it'll be 4th and short. Timeout on the field. We'll see who the timeout is for now. There's official timeout. He stopped the clock, and now he's going to have started up again. Under 4 minutes to go. Colin Young gets his instructions from Coach Daubenmeyer. 4th and 1.
Tillman and Heater out wide. Colin Young under center.
Young waiting. 5 seconds to go on the play clock. Young probably didn't get it. He was hit immediately as the ball was snapped. Great penetration by the Wildcat.
And that Williamsburg coach is quite happy with that.
Depends where they mark the football. And we'll have an official measurement.
Oh,
no, we're going to have a timeout for the Knights.
And the 4th quarter action of FCA on LSN is brought to you in part by Fairfield Mini Storage, the place to store your personal or business goods in a clean, dry unit within a graded facility. They have outside storage for RVs and boats, and they are Lancaster's source for Penske truck rentals. Fairfield Mini Storage is located at 2230 East Main Street in Lancaster, or find them on the web at ffministorage.com.
Well, we got a little bit of confusion here because it was 4th and 1. Knights called a timeout. Now they've backed the football up. They have not changed the down marker. It's still on the opposite sideline. It's still 4th and 1. So either Colin got the first down or they turned the ball over on downs. 3:33 to go in the game.
Well, either way, if they had turned the ball over or if Colin had gotten the first down, the marker would have changed positions and the chains would have moved.
And let's see, the down marker was wrong. Okay, so it must have been 3rd one. Now it's 4th down.
The Williamsburg fans are getting pumped up.
So the down marker on the far sideline was wrong. 3:33 to go in the game. And it looks like Tobin might have been stopped short of the line of scrimmage. Williamsburg thinks that they held on downs. 3:29 to go in the game, and they did. Turnover on downs. Wildcats get the football. 3:29 to go in the game. Knights up by 11.
And now Williamsburg is in a very good position to get close to tying this football game.
Knights up by 2 scores, so they'll have to score quickly here. Onside kick. And
hope to get the ball back.
Absolutely.
Edmonston and the shotgun. Sorry.
Sorry, Edmonston
Ryan
in the
Boggs
shotgun.
Out to the bottom of your screen. And
Hall is the lone back in the backfield. Edmondson looks, throws, right side, has a receiver at the 45, and he's knocked out of bounds, close to a first down.
Peter on the stop.
Right was the receiver. Used 8 seconds. They moved the chains. First down, Wildcats.
And they are definitely trying to move this football. They are making sure that this comes down to the wire.
Edmondson in the shotgun. 2 wide receivers to the left and right. Back to pass over the middle. He's got his receiver, and that is Jordan Wright again.
That was a very good initial hit by Colin Young and helped out there by Joey Gall.
Nice chunk of chains on that. It'll be second and short. Same formation. Two receivers to the left and right. Edmondson back to pass. Blitzed, rolls left, throws over the middle. Gerlach, and it is incomplete.
Very good play there by Jeremiah Lee, making sure that he does not catch that football. That is the last thing that the Knights defense wants right now.
4 down territory for the Wildcats. 3rd and 1 on the 31. If they don't make it, they'll go for the first down on 4th. So we'll see what happens. Pearson in with the play. Ian Gerlach will go to the top of the screen. Wright and Boggs down to the bottom of the screen. Hall the lone back in the backfield. Penalty flag on the play. Pass complete to Wright. And we'll see what happened here. Either motion or holding perhaps on the Wildcats. Let's see. Mason Hall has his hands up like, what did I do? And let's see what the call is. Hall doesn't like it, whatever it is. Procedure on the Wildcats, backs them up 5 yards.
And that's got to be frustrating. You're at the 1 yard line. You had a great pass to.
Well, they had 1 yard to go.
You had a great pass there.
And yes, they had a great opportunity there. 3rd and 6 now with 2:45 to go. Same formation.
4 receivers out wide. Edmonston in the shotgun.
Looks left, fakes left, now throws long. He's got a receiver out there. It is incomplete.
And that's very good defense there. I'm not sure who that was. I think it's
Jeffers
Brian Miller.
was the intended receiver, and it looks like either Miller or
I think it was Miller, but
Miller, I think, was out there on the coverage.
Yeah. 4th and 6 for Williamsburg. At this position, I don't know. You kind of have to go for it.
You have to go for it, absolutely. They need 6.
So they're going to try this again.
2:39 to go. Edmondson. Pressure, steps up in the pocket, directing traffic, throws, incomplete.
And I think if he would have kept that, he would have been very, very close to that first down.
Absolutely, it's a good call, Andrew. If he would have kept the ball, tucked it in, he might have had the first down. So 2:33 to go in the ball game. Knights get the ball on downs. Both teams have 2 timeouts left. So we'll probably see the Wildcats stop the clock here a couple times. Put 7, 8 guys in the box to try to get a quick stop or turnover. Heater to the bottom of the screen. Tolman up at the top of the screen. And we have a penalty flag. It might be encroachment.
Flags on the plate.
Let the officials sort this out. See, it's going to be procedure on the Knights. So, instead of scoreboard operator thought it was on the Wildcats, he had 1st and 5. It'll be 1st and 15 now on the 41.
Well, he got the 5 right. Colin Young under center.
2:33 to go in the ball game. Now the clock is running. Young on the keeper. Barely gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Didn't look like
and
he got
timeout
too much
immediately
there.
on for the Wildcats. Coach Lefter is saying he's pointing at the clock, telling the scoreboard operator to stop the clock. They lost about 6 seconds on that, so we'll see if they make an adjustment. 2:16 on the clock. They should put it to about 2:21, 2:22.
The FCA on LSN Game of the Week is brought to you by Spires Paving Company, serving Lancaster and Fairfield County since 1984. They're a full-service pavement and pavement services company providing asphalt paving, patching and repairing, crack filling and stripping for residential, commercial, churches, and local municipalities. Spires Paving Company can be contacted at 740-653-6837 or online at spirespaving.com.
Now, Coach Lefker signals to his scoreboard operator to put 2:21 on the clock, which would be right. But that's on the scoreboard operator. Scoreboard operator is run by the home team here. You would expect them to have a quick trigger finger to stop the clock quickly to save time, but
when you're up 11,
now they put 2:31 on the clock, and that's not right.
As the Knights here, you kind of want to have to run that clock out, so the more time you take in between plays and that kind of thing, the
we'll see if they keep it at 2:30. I thought it'd be about 2:21, 2:22.
I thought it'd be somewhere in there too, but
well, we'll see. If it's 2:31, so be it.
And it doesn't look like they're going to change it.
2:31 to go. So they ran off well over 12 seconds. There's a pitch to Tobin. Around the right side, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, run out of bounds, and it'll be 3rd and long for the Knights with 2:24 to go.
And there he goes again. My goodness.
8 or 9 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down. 3rd and about 7.
3rd and 7.
And if Ben Tobin isn't making a play, I don't know who is. Jacob Walker, Colin Young. But they've definitely kept it on the ground quite a bit for Ben Tobin.
Ben Tobin is close to 300 yards rushing tonight, and there is encroachment, I believe, on the Wildcats. I did not see movement on the Knights' side of the line of scrimmage, and the Wildcats are moving back 5 yards. So it'll be 3rd and short. It's a fortuitous break for the Knights. So 3rd and a long one, possibly 3rd and 2. Wildcats have 1 timeout remaining. Knights have 2.
Tillman and Heater out wide.
Young over center. Young with a quarterback keeper.
Didn't
look. See if the scrum got to the.
It didn't look like he did. Williamsburg defense is tightening down. They do not want to let them have another first down.
2:06 to go, and now we have timeout. 2:05 to go, and it's a timeout to move the chains. So Colin got the first down. Wildcats can only stop the clock one more time. Knights up by 11. If they win, they go to 3-1 on the season. Play Dayton Christian next Friday night at New Lex Field. That's the home field for the FCA Knights. And now Colin Young is over center. Waits for the referee to start the clock. Under 2 minutes to go in this ball game. Knights, if they win, this holds true to form. They'll go to 3-1 in the season, and Williamsburg will drop to 1-3. Young waits, 5 seconds to go on the play clock, snaps the ball and kneels. 1:37 to go. Quick timeout there by Williamsburg. That's their last timeout. Why don't you give us the media team one more time again, Andrew, the guys who traveled 2.5 to 3 hours to make this all possible for you.
Thank the media team, which consists of Caleb Kandra, Justin Potocnik, Evan Bogus, Caleb Peters, Dane Alexander, Harrison Poole, Mark Davidson, Alex Carroll, Michael Collier, Scott West, and a big thank you to JT Burcham.
I want to remind you, this program is available on demand and can be watched again at your convenience at fairfieldmedia.tv. Just go to fairfieldmedia.tv. You can watch this game and others that the media team produces for your viewing enjoyment. Got some volleyball games coming up this fall. A couple more volleyball games this fall. Also the slate of the football games. If the football team is fortunate enough to go to the playoffs, we'll be there. Knights off to a 3-1 start unless something catastrophic happens here.
Looks like part of the Williamsburg student section is calling it in.
They have ordered pizza early. Knights in the victory formation. 2nd and 12. Knights will take a knee. And that'll make it 3rd and long. Clock runs. And as they say down in Cincinnati, when the Reds win, this one is about to belong to the Knights.
They're just going to kneel it one more time and probably give a good punt.
Colin is going to use all the time that he can on the play clock.
Very smart decision. Instead of trying to move it up and score again, you're just going to let the clock run. It's not like Williamsburg has any timeouts to make sure that you can't. But
50 seconds to go. "40 seconds. Coach Lefker is on the side, on the field, wondering what is going on here. There's a knee by FCA with 30 seconds to go. And Coach Lefker is questioning about the time management of the referees. 22 seconds to go. Knights will have this one in the books, the 4th and long. And the Knights will get out of here with a 33-22 win. Once again, Andrew, how about the media team? Can you thank them one more time?
Yep, the FCA media team consists of Caleb Kandra, Justin Potocnik, Evan Bogus, Caleb Peters, Dane Alexander, Harrison Poole, Mark Davidson, Alex Carroll, Michael Collier, Scott West, and our FCA media director, JT Burcham.
Thanks to the media team. Most of all, thank you for watching FCA football on LSN. The final score, FCA beats Williamsburg by a score of 33-22. Come to you again next week for New Lex against Dayton Christian. Till next time, for this time, have a good night, everybody.
Severe weather can destroy a home in seconds. There's no time to think, only time to act. Have a kit so you're ready for any emergency. Develop a plan for what you and your family will do before disaster strikes, and stay informed during severe weather any way you can. It can be the difference between losing your possessions and losing your life. Just ask the owners of this house.
Visit ready.gov for ways to prepare your family for emergencies.
FCA on LSN.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.